Okay, welcome to your Unit 9 review problem. I'm going to be walking through the solution to the Broadway tickets free response question, and I'll be pointing out some important aspects of the problem that you will need to know when you complete the Unit 9 test FRQ problem. So if you haven't already read through the description of the problem, you should pause the video and go ahead and do that. You want to be familiar with the problem before I start walking through the solution. So we have a super class called ticket, and then that class has two subclasses, one of which has its own subclass. We're going to be writing the two subclasses, advance and student advance. You should familiarize yourself with the ticket class so that you know what is being stored in this class and what accessibility there is. The thing you should definitely be noting is that all these member variables, these fields, are private, which means they cannot be directly accessed from the subclasses. Any interaction that the subclasses have with these three values needs to be through the public methods. So now, these subclasses do have a price and a serial number. It's just that they can't access those directly. Those values have been encapsulated in the ticket class. Encapsulation means, like a capsule, means self-contained, so that any underlying changes made to the data does not affect outside stuff. Just like when you take a capsule, a medicine capsule, any changes in the underlying medicine in that capsule don't change how you interact with the capsule. You still, swallow it with some water or whatever. Okay, let's get to writing our subclasses. So we're going to be writing the advanced class, and then the subclass of that, the student advanced class. Advanced class ticket, advanced tickets have a certain number of days that they were bought in advance, and that determines the price. Okay, so we're going to flip over to the solution that I have started here. The header is something that you want to obviously pay attention to, the header for the class. Public class advance extends ticket. If you don't have extends ticket, you're going to get that portion of the problem wrong. That's what the whole unit is about, is superclass, subclass, and we need that keyword extends right there. We need a constructor because when we make an advance ticket, it has to know how many days in advance it was purchased. Now with the constructors here, you either need to implicitly have the default constructor of the superclass called or explicitly call a constructor yourself. In this case, the superclass does have a default constructor. So that will automatically get called in the subclass. However, just to point out the fact that this happens, we can go ahead and call it explicitly. We'll just call it by using the keyword super, and that's going to construct a ticket for us. So what does that ticket class have? It sets our serial number and it sets our used value to false. Now, since this is an advanced ticket, we need to go ahead and write code for the cost of this ticket. If the ticket was purchased 10 or more days in advance, then it costs $30. So we'll write ourselves a quick if statement. If days is greater than or equal to 10, we're going to set the price at $30. Now, we can't just go price equals 30. This is a no-no. Okay, price, once again, is private to the ticket class. There is no price variable in this class up here. So we cannot do that. Get all that erased. All right. What we must do is use the methods of the superclass to interact with those variables. So in this case, we're going to call set price. We can just call it directly. We can do super.setPrice. That makes more sense to you to attach something to it. And we're going to go $30. All right. And then if it's 9 days or less, then it costs $40. So else super dot set price $40. Okay. And I think that's all we need for the constructor of this class. All right, what else? Um, we got all that taken care of already. The only other thing is when we buy an when an advance ticket is used, it should print off the amount of savings. Okay, so that means we're gonna override the method up here in the ticket class, which is use ticket. So public void use ticket. Remember that override symbol is just for safety to make sure that we get this header correct and that we're not just writing some random new method. So I'm gonna make sure I get it all right. Public void use ticket. Okay. So when we're overriding this method, we still want the um, the ticket to be used. And that used thing happens up here in the superclass. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to call super dot use ticket because we still want to mark it as used. But then additionally, we're going to print something out. So I'm just going to write a quick sys out here. We're supposed to print out how much we saved. So I'm going to go you saved, and then we'll have to do some math. 50 minus, and then we need to get the price of this ticket. Again, we have to call get price. We can't just do price as a variable. So 50 minus get price, put in that parentheses so it does the math first before doing any joining. Dollars. All right, there is our used ticket. And that's all we need to do for the advanced class. So let's go ahead and move on to the student advanced class. So once again, public class student advanced this time. And this one extends advance. Make sure you put advanced there, not ticket, because this is a subclass of the advanced class. Okay, include all necessary instance variables and implementations of its constructor and methods. So when we make a student advance, it also needs to know a number of days in advance that it was purchased. And then really the only difference in this one is that the toString is going to be different and the cost is going to be different. It's half the cost of an advance ticket. So since we do not inherit constructors, we have to write our own constructor. This one's going to look pretty similar to our other one, except this time when we call super, we do need to call it explicitly. We have to call it, and we have to send it number of days, because when we're calling super here, we're calling this constructor the advanced constructor, so we have to send it the number of days. And that constructor will call super and make a ticket. So we're just going to pass along the number of days, and that's it. All right, we need to override the toString. And this is another case where I don't want to rewrite code that's already been written. So we're going to go return super.toString because the toString information where it prints out the serial number and the price has already been written in the ticket class. When we call super.toString, it'll call the toString of the advanced class. And since there is no override of the toString in this class, it'll automatically call the toString of its superclass. So we're going to go super.toString, and then we're just going to add on, what are we supposed to add on here? That student ID is required. So we'll add on some quotes, get that new line in there, and blah, 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 student ID required. Again, this is for, this is the backslash in for new line to go to the next line. Okay, and lastly, we are overriding the get price method because these tickets cost half as much as regular tickets. So, are we gonna do like $15 or $20? No, because we're not gonna hard code in numbers in case the price changes for advanced tickets. We're going to return half the price of an advanced ticket. So we're going to do return 0.5 times super dot get price. So no matter what that price is, if it's $30, $40, if it changes at some point, we will always be half that amount. And I think that should do it. Just taking one more look. Yeah, that's all. Okay, so again, key components there are using the methods of the superclass to interact with those variables, making sure that you explicitly call the superconstructor when necessary. All right, I'll be posting the test on Thursday. Um, make sure to email with questions or join my office hours at 12:30 each day. Later.